Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm back to doing my tier list. I haven't done these in a bloody long time. But I'm going to be doing another thing that I haven't done in a bloody long time. I'm going to be ranking all May 2026 new releases I've seen in a tier list. Further ado, let's get straight into it. Starting with the first movie that I have is Mortal Kombat number 2. Mortal Kombat 2, yeah. And for Mortal Kombat 2, I'm going to be putting it in the good tier. I think Mortal Kombat 2 was a fun movie. I think when it comes to the 2021 movie, I enjoyed it enough. I liked the aesthetic and violence, but like a lot of people, I was confused why they chose a brand new lead character instead of any iconic ones from the games, and I don't think we needed a full tournament setup, especially if I was going to make 5 years to get the sequel. If I was going to wait 5 years to get the sequel, simply put, this is the movie I was hoping to get. It doesn't overthink it. It doesn't overcomplicate things. It's a tournament fighter, so it emphasizes the tournament mechanics. It's about the iconic characters, and it's filled with fights, action, gore, fatalities, and memorable locations from the games. That's what I wanted, and that's what the movie delivered. Almost right out of the gate, the movie feels much bigger than the previous film. It leans into the fantasy genre elements, going off to other realms, conquerors, people that have failed to the tournament before. You feel like you're a part of a massive tournament for the fate of realms. Big and mythical from the beginning to the end. It fully embraces the over-the-top stylized elements from the very beginning because it's a sequel, and Liu Kang has already mastered all the stuff. No ramp up needed, just go. Karl Urban is inspired casting. He's not a martial artist, but he's entirely believable as a movie star because he is a movie star. He has the cockiness, but also the emotional range to carry the insecurity that needs to be there. He brings the screen presence that was missing from the 2021 film and elevates everyone around him. His Johnny Cage arc, aging, washed up, trying to recapture what made him great, gives the movie an emotional grounding without overcomplicating anything. Katana balances that on the fantasy side, and her arc makes you care about the conquest of losing in a way that makes the finale real stakes. I left the movie with a big grin on my face. It had has emotional but doesn't take itself too seriously. It has the lore but doesn't get convoluted. It's not meant to be high cinema. It's meant to be an adapt Mortal Kombat into a movie, and it does exactly that. The tournament structure is one thing that costs the film something, because fighters get beamed away to isolated locations, characters die, and nobody sees it happen. The emotional impact of a death comes from seeing other people's reactions, and that energy is almost completely missing here. The score is similar, forgettable, outside of moments where it references the iconic 1995 music, and compared to the modern Mortal Kombat games, the fatalities felt tame, though I suspect the MPAA has something to do with that there. Next movie on the list we have is In the Grey, which I'm going to be putting on the good tier. Another good movie here. In the Grey, a lot better than the lack of marketing would make you assume. The quality of the movie would be, but also not the most memorable. I had fun though. It was nice. It was definitely a turn your brain off. I enjoyed Cavill and Gyllenhaal doing some badass stuff while Lisa sets up an elaborate heist that doesn't involve a safe. I think Guy Ritchie directed this film. I think he did really well with the direction here. I'm always into a Guy Ritchie film, so I was always going to check this movie out. And I think he did really well with this film, and it was just a really enjoyable film that I had a ton of fun with. Now my next movie on the list we have is The Sheep Detectives. And The Sheep Detectives, I'm going to be putting it on the good tier. The Sheep Detectives has no right being as charming and delightful as it was. An absolute delight from start to finish. And it features a wonderful cast across the board. It's the kind of family film that keeps you smiling and laughing the whole way through, yet never lets the stakes feel anything less than real. It is also one of the few times lately I found myself thinking, they just don't make them like this anymore. I could easily see it resonating with the audience in the same way Paddington does with me and other people around. So this is like the Paddington for like the new generation a little bit. And I had, so much fun with the Sheep Detectives. It kind of had a Knives Out theme to it, which I love Knives Out, so I was already into it. Next movie on the list, I literally just watched this a few days ago. It's called The Breadwinner, and I'm going to be putting The Breadwinner on the OK tier. If you're a fan of Nate Bargatze, you're a fan of this movie. It very much felt like an early 2000s family comedy in the vein of something like Are We There Yet or lower level Adam Sandler flick. Honestly, it wasn't awful, solid laughs, and a good wholesome family fun at the movies. I really enjoyed The Breadwinner. No, I wouldn't say I really enjoyed it. I think it was a fine movie. It was okay. It was nothing special. It could have been better for sure, but it wasn't. But it was enjoyable overall. Next movie on the list we have is Jack Ryan Ghost War. Is it Ghost War? Jack Ryan Ghost War, and I'm going to be putting it on the good tier as well. Jack Ryan Ghost War. Jack Ryan is back. He's as watchable as ever and just as forgettable. My introduction to the character was clear and present danger, which remains my favourite version of him on screen. The whole appeal has always been that Jack Ryan is an analyst, someone brilliant enough to see what the others miss, but who has to be dragged kicking and screaming into danger. That tension is what separates him from every other action hero. But since the Ben Affleck era, every new version keeps pushing him further and further away from that. Ghost War is no different there. He is again with a bulletproof vest and machine guns looking completely at home in situations that should feel way more. But I think it was a good movie. It does have its issues for sure. It's not... It was a little disappointing, I'm not going to lie. But it was fine overall. Next movie I have is a movie called Ladies First. And I'm going to be putting it on the bad tier. A better movie would have taken a moment to show us some of the struggles that gender-specific and not the last moments like construction workers cackling. And make us the audience invested in the triumphs and overcoming these issues. But this movie presents an interesting subject. Even if everything about it feels 20 years too late in comedic style and resorts to silly Burger Queen jokes. First, the film is both painfully plain and derivative, but also important. But more importantly, it has a perspective that this refuses to enlighten you on what it is. If it really wanted you to think about its subject matter, it would have went a bit harder with certain tropes. I mean, the guy who created and played Borat was here after all, and he was okay. I mean, this movie was bad. It wasn't my thing. I knew it wasn't going to be my thing. I still chucked it on because I was like, oh, Borat, I love Borat. And it was a mess for sure. Next movie I have is Passenger, which I just watched yesterday or the day before. It's on the bad tier. Passenger starts strong but slowly develops and continues to frustrate with its narrative decisions. The premise is rock solid, and Lou Lobel is delivering with her performance, but the script struggles along with the mediocre progress. It feels gimmicky with the execution, far from what we have been seeing from the genre as of late. I appreciate a few attempts with his camera work, but the story never recovers from its inability to stay focused on what initially worked. And I just think it was a bad movie, unfortunately. It wasn't anything that I enjoyed, I'd say. It felt bland, and it just wasn't really my kind of thing. Next movie I have is Remarkably Bright Creatures. I'm gonna be putting this on the good tier. Remarkably Bright Creatures. Sally Field is an icon, and Lewis Pullman can really act. Also, Alfred Molina as Octopus again was perfect. A very good movie, and it really pulls the heartstrings. I just felt with that movie, it felt a bit strange in the sense that it went from semi-realistic movie to the ending being completely unrealistic, and how well it wrapped everything up in a nice little bow. It was very satisfying and nice, don't get me wrong, but it just pulled me out of it a little. Also loved the plot twist. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I think it was a very good film. I think it was very well displayed, very well crafted. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed this film overall. Next movie I have is a movie called Swapped. Now, Swapped, I'm going to be putting this on the good tier. Swapped, really hate that Instagram spoiled the plot twist villain for me because it's just solid and effective to the story. I'm late to the party with this film, so can't really complain. The world building is exceptional, and the film is a true beauty to behold. Sadly, everything else is by the numbers and doesn't do anything to the differentiative itself from most animated family flicks outside of the cool body swapping element. Honestly, if Pixar made this, it would have been considered as one of the most underwhelming films. If Illumination made it, it would have been considered as their masterpiece. Do with that information what you will with it. But yeah, Swap, it was a good movie overall. I'm not gonna lie, it was a good movie. Next movie we have is Backrooms. Now, Backrooms for me, it's gonna be the first movie on the great tier. I think Backrooms is just so impressive to look at. Even with a semi-messy finale, the level of craft on display from the visual standpoint is magnificent. Magnificent. There we go. It brilliantly builds the eerie and ominous feeling through top-tier production design and effective score. It keeps you on the toes because of its ability to build tension, yet there is something to these characters that resonate more than expected. Even with a jumbled ending, the final product is one worth experiencing with a crowd, as it establishes maintains its superb atmosphere. Kane Parsons is showing real promise here. And yeah, I think this was a great movie. I really enjoyed my time with this film. I would recommend it for sure. Even though it won't be for everyone, I know it won't be for everyone. I enjoyed it overall, and I'm happy with the final product. Now we have The Mandalorian and Grogu, and I'm going to be putting this on the OK tier. The Mandalorian and Grogu has just enough fun to satisfy some viewers, as it maintains the delightful dynamic we grew to love between our two leads, along with a few rock-solid action set pieces for those looking for much more from these characters on this world. As a whole, disappointment is inevitable. The overarching plot feels disjointed. The Saturday morning cartoon vibe works on occasion, but part of it also feels like it existed mainly to tide us over until the next season, where maybe we'll dive deeper into what drives these characters. The lack of depth and failure to deliver a memorable plot makes this somewhat forgettable experience. Even if younger audiences will get a kick out of it, it's charming but inconsistent overall. And it was an okay movie, I'm not gonna lie, it was okay, but it was nothing special. It sucks. I felt like it was just a whole bunch of Mandalorian episodes just jumbled into a movie, and it just didn't work out for me, and it sucks, because I was looking forward to this film. I'm going to be real, didn't have high hopes. I knew I didn't have high hopes for this film, and yeah, well, that's how it worked. Now, for the last movie, the movie that everyone's been talking about, going on about, Obsession, and for me, awesome tier. This movie is I love this movie. Obsession absolutely rocks. What a wild and unique take on a concept that could have easily fallen into familiar territory. It all starts with the Indian Navarrete, who shows an insane amount of range, delivering some strong physical and putting us through plenty of mental turmoil. Curry Barker's attention to detail is integral, as he nails everything from the lighting to his clever use of camera angles. The film often feels more uncomfortable than scary, which isn't inherently bad, but their inclusion of humor and intentionally cringe-worthy moments makes up for the occasional lack of depth. The end result is an insanely entertaining time at the theater. What a ride. I 100% recommend this film. 100%. People need to check this film out. I'm gonna praise it as long as I can. It was so much fun, and I had an absolute blast with this film, and I recommend it full-heartedly. Just go out and check this movie out, 100%. Now for the rankings. Number 12, Passenger. Not really my thing. Number 11, Ladies First, was a little bit better, but not by too much. Then we have at the bottom of the okay tier, we have The Breadwinner. It was a okay movie. It was funny at sometimes, but it was definitely more of a kid's film. Then the top of the okay tier, we have The Mandalorian and Grogu. A good movie, was really disappointed by that. The bottom of the good tier, I have Jack Ryan Ghost War. Another disappointing movie, but I had fun with it, I'm not going to lie. Then we have a movie called Swapped. Good movie, I'd recommend that. At number 6, I have In the Grey. I found that to be a fun movie. Then we have, at number 5, Remarkably Bright Creatures. Number 4, we have Mortal Kombat 2. And then at the top of the good tier, we have Sheep Detectives. So good on that movie. Then the only two. Number 2, I have Backrooms. And my favourite movie of May. And my number 1 is Obsession. And that is it. Thank you for watching my tier list of all 12 May 2026 new releases I've seen. Thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye.